New York Giants have lacked edge depth for quite some time now. Last year drafting Kayvon Thibodeau, the year prior adding Azeez Ojulari. We really thought that we had a good tandem, a really nice tandem coming into that past season. You know, Kayvon Thibodeau had some flashes, but ultimately didn't really reveal himself 100%, besides that Washington game that we all know about. And Azeez just couldn't seem to stay healthy. So something that was exploited on this defense last season was the lack of edge depth, the lack of D-line depth overall, but lack of edge depth specifically. Jihad Ward is a guy that stepped up and he played decently well. Jihad Ward is mainly known for his other antics and other teammate chemistry things that's going on, which shout out to Hadi. At the end of the day, he's still a great player. But besides that, we didn't really have no suitable players that can go in and make a difference. We didn't really have anyone to step in while these guys were trying to take a breather and really make a difference on this defense. Somebody that's out there that I think will be intriguing is Yannick Ngakoue. Yannick Ngakoue is still on the market, man. We don't really know what his market will be, what his value would be. But I think, honestly, if he's been a free agent for this amount of time and for this long, he should be close to the minimum. Not saying he's going to get paid $2 million a year. It might be north of 3, 4, maybe 5, if anything. I think if both parties are interested, meaning that Ngakoue wants to come to New York and New York probably wants him, I think we should get this done no matter what the deal is. I don't think the deal will be anything crazy for the Giants that we can't entertain. You know, SAQUONBARKLEY is still up for a contract, and if Saquon's able to sign not just that franchise tag but sign a contract, we still don't know what that's going to be. The jury's still out on that. That's going to allow a little bit more cap flexibility for this upcoming season, a little more freedom when it comes to these signings. And Ngakoue could be that guy that we could sign that could be a last little splash. Ngakoue, ever since he came into the league, has yet to have a season where he had under 8 sacks. Yannick Ngakoue was known to be a speed rusher. He has a lot of good pass rushing moves that, you know, one point in time, the Giants seemed like they wanted him. A lot of Giants fans were clamoring for him. After he went through his last season with Jacksonville, the Giants were known to be suitors, and a lot of the fans, including myself, wanted to go get him, you know, because we haven't had a premium pass rusher in a very long time. We thought Olivier Vernon might have been that guy, but, you know, ultimately he wasn't terrible, but that contract never lived up to what the production was, as well as Jason Pierre-Paul was probably our last premier pass rusher, a difference maker on that side of the ball. You know, I'm hoping we still have that with Azeez, and I'm hoping we still have that with Kayvon Thibodeau, but adding a guy like Ngakoue definitely does not hurt this team. When you look at what we added this past offseason for this defense, man, so obviously we added some depth with A'Shawn Robinson and Nacho behind guys like Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams. So our front four in terms of big guys, pretty stacked. We're pretty stacked on the D-line. Edge rusher, we're going to have Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari. But something like I said, Azeez got hurt a lot last season. We cannot have that happen again. We literally just cannot. Because outside of that, the pass rush is really non-existent. Everybody knows what we did last season with Wink Martindale and what we're going to do this upcoming season. We're going to blitz, and blitzing sometimes puts scenarios where the quarterback doesn't really have a place to like make a quick decision, and they get sacked. That's a way to generate sacks, but ultimately we still need a guy on the outside that can really do something. With crucial downs with Kayvon Thibodeau or Azeez Ojulari off the field, we still need to be able to generate a pass rush, and I think adding a guy like Ngakoue will be perfect. Now, one of the biggest concerns with Ngakoue, so the past 4 or 5 seasons, he's been on a different team every single year. I believe the last 4 seasons. He's been with the Vikings, the Ravens, the Raiders, and last season being with the Colts. And guess what? Every single season, he's been with the team for only a year. In some cases, with 2 teams, it was even 2 teams in 1 year. And Ngakoue hasn't been able to stick with anybody. Now, what are some concerns that can come with that? Maybe it's a chemistry fit. Maybe it's a locker room fit. Is he a great locker room guy? I'm just going to be honest. I have no idea because Ngakoue has not been on my team, and I don't look into any other teams like that. But Ngakoue, when he's on the field, he's productive. The Colts last season was a bad defense. They were a bad team overall and a bad defense overall, and he was still able to generate 9.5 sacks with them last season while missing 2 games. He only played in 15 games. He might have missed a game that he played against the Giants or even started playing and then got injured in that game. But Ngakoue is still productive when he's on the field, and this is a guy that I think if the price is right, the Giants should look into adding. In a dream scenario, in a dream world, we want Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari to play every single snap, but that's not going to happen. Let's just be honest. I do think if they're able to play majority of the snaps, we should be fine, but it's about trying to make this defense as best as it can be for this upcoming season. The NFC East is a dog fight division. We all know that. 3 years ago, it was the worst division in the league, and now it's probably the best division in the league. They have good tackles in this division. When you look at the Cowboys, when you look at the Eagles, and I don't even need to talk about the Commanders, Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau are going to be premier defensive ends in this league, and hopefully for the New York Giants. But outside of that, we need some guys that can step in, not just having Hadi, but adding a guy like Ngakoue, adding a premier speed defensive end. Normally, a good defensive end is not available like this. So there are some concerns. There are some red flags. There are some reasons to think, okay, so if he's this good, why is he still available? I think purely he's probably weighing out his options. When you look at how it's been for the last 5 seasons, when you look at how it's been for him overall in his career, played the first 4 seasons in Jacksonville, and ever since that, he never really stuck with anybody. So he's probably looking for a suitor, maybe to get a multi-year contract. But I think for this Giants team, if he's looking for anything multi-year, if he's looking for anything that guarantees a couple of extra years, listen, we can't make that type of deal. The price has to be right with him. Yannick Ngakoue is still 28 years of age. He's still 28 years old. So he's definitely, you would think he's been in the league for years on years, and he's probably 33, 34. He's still 28 years old, arguably still in his prime. If there's anything we learned last season with the Eagles and playing against these other teams, you win in the trenches. There is no such thing as having too many guys up front. That's not a thing. The Giants have had too little people in the front, not too many. You see a major drop off when the starters are not on the field and they're trying to get a break, and it's inevitable. Some guys are going to need a breather. So adding a guy like Ngakoue to put us over the top is something we need. We need to add a guy like this. You know, knowing what every other flaw there is on this defense, the cornerback position is still up in the air. We added Deonte Banks, but we still haven't seen him play yet. We cannot confidently say yet if we have shut down corners on the outside. But you know what helps the cornerback position is having a great pass rush up front. And adding a guy like Ngakoue just increases the chances of, hey, if KT needs to step out the field, if Azeez needs to step out the field, if one of them goes down, God forbid, if one of them goes down, we still have Ngakoue to be productive and still have him step in a starting role, which, you know, will you see 10 sacks out of him? If he doesn't get the playing time, you probably won't be, because he's been a starter for every single team. And if he's on this Giants team, in my opinion, you can't start him. You can't put him in front of guys like Azeez or KT. But ultimately, I think 100% if you add a guy like Ngakoue, that only makes the defense even better, and it puts us over the top and probably an advantage to the rest of this league and the rest of the NFC East. The Eagles, obviously, we know have a great front four, as well as the Cowboys. The Cowboys having Micah Parsons, they're always going to have a great pass rush. So it's time for the Giants to catch up in speed and add more guys to that position as well. I want you guys to let me know down in the comments, man. Do you think we should sign Ngakoue? If he's available and for the right price, like I said, I think we should add him. But you guys let me know down below. Subscribe also. Road to 10K is still active, man. And I got more content coming to y'all. If you haven't seen my other ones, I got more videos to the left right here. I will catch y'all. Peace. What's going on, family? Back on here with the Juke, man. And calling all the Daniel Jones haters. Pull up to this video. Watch this video real quick. The New York Yankees lose the series. We get swept back in the third quarter. The third quarter was really when we started to make our moves. Then DeMar, banger.
Make sure you subscribe to the Juke.